In this video, I'm going to go into detail about my high ticket closer job where I was making over 20K a month consistently for almost 18 months straight. So I think it was like 17 months in a row I was above 20K, but then I cut back on that offer to start this business, so who knows how much longer that streak would have gone on. The point of this video is to give you a real case study and show you what is legitimately possible for you if you get into high ticket sales as a closer. So what does my day look like? What am I selling? How many calls I'm taking? And just to give you a clear picture of what you can possibly do as well. And once you understand how these jobs work and how much money internet businesses make, you'll see why it's easily possible to do this. So like 5 years ago, quick backstory, I was in tech sales, working basically a corporate job. I hated it, and at night I would be online trying to figure out how to make money online. I've told this story in other videos, so I'm not gonna take too much time to talk about this, but eventually I came across high ticket sales and I started doing daily outreach to businesses on social media. I did that every day for 9 months. I got some replies. Most of the time I didn't get shit for weeks, months on end. And then eventually about 9 months into doing daily outreach, I got a reply from a very legitimate fitness coach. We got on a call, we hit it off, I became his closer. So I had no high ticket sales experience, and I just leveraged my previous sales experience on the call, hit it off with him, and he gave me a shot. So even though I had no high ticket experience, I still got into a pretty good role just because we had a good call. So if you have a good interview, you can easily get really good roles. At the end of the day, it's about whether they like you or not. That is all hiring ever comes down to. Experience does not matter. And I've proved that with myself and many other people in my program. Now, I started this role full-time right out of the gate. So a normal full day, I was taking about 8 calls a day, and that's accounting for the people that no-showed. And I had never taken a high-ticket sales call before, but I had been studying it, like while I was doing daily outreach, I'd been studying it for months. I had found some scripts online and basically watched like videos of recorded calls. So I'd been preparing and I sort of knew what to do. But they're going to give you a script to follow anyway in any role, so it's no big deal. The only place that you're actually going to learn how to do this and get better is by doing it, right? By taking the calls, not by watching videos. But the first 2 months or so, when I started, were pretty rough. I think I barely made 4 to 5K in the first 2 months each. And then in month 3, that went up to like 6 or 7K. And then in month 4 was when I first hit 10K. So perfect example of what I constantly tell you guys is gonna happen, and it's exactly what happened to me. The role started out rough or mediocre, not because the business was bad, but because I was new, and because there's ramp time in any sales role, especially in high ticket, and then soon after that, I went on to make insane money. Now, during the first 6 months, he was earlier on in the business, so he was successful and making good money, but it was around that 6-month mark of me being there when the business fucking took off like a rocket. So he already had a lot of followers when I got there. But then with me taking over all the sales calls, he was free to focus more on the content. And at the same time, he also added in paid advertisements. And in turn, his account rapidly grew a shitload more and his content started popping off. And then I started making way more money. After like 6 months, I was working 6 days a week, taking 8 to 9 calls a day that showed up, and I was hitting at least 20K a month consistently, and many months were higher than that. So what happened here? I got on with a good business owner who was selling a good product that people wanted to buy. So he's selling a very in-depth, personalized fitness program to all his followers. Hey, buy my program, I'll work directly with you and help you lose weight, gain muscle, you get tons of access to me, I'll do your workouts, your meal plans, etc. That was the product. And since the product was legit and he was legit, it sold really well. Now, the timeline was this. When I first got on this offer, I had to learn basically how to run a high ticket sales call, right? Because I was used to these really long sales cycles from tech, doing these demos. And then I also had to learn the product, get my feet under me, while also it took time for him to get things dialed in and running really efficiently at a higher level. So when a business is growing, it's messy, bro. Things just break on the way up, and that's just how it is. So because of that, I made a lower amount in my first couple of months, and then I got to 10K. And then once he grew bigger and he got everything in the business running like a well-oiled machine, I benefited from that and was able to make a lot more money. Now, there's always going to be different examples. You can get on with a business who's making tons of money and they've been doing that for a while, and you can come in and just get dropped right in and be making 15K a month. Sure, that does happen, but again, it's all depends on the specific business. They're all going to be different. The situation I was in my opinion, is perfect because he was already successful, the business was already working, but it hadn't exploded yet. So I came in at like the right time and putting me on the sales call, so he was freed up to focus on other things. He exploded the business, and I reaped all the benefits when it did. That's why I was able to get to 20K a month so quickly. And there's many opportunities to get closer roles like this with other businesses that are similar. Now, how did I get to making 20K a month in this role, only working like 3 to 4 hours a day, taking like 3 to 4 calls a day to be more specific? At a certain point, I knew I was going to start this sales business. And when I decided to start this, I told him what I wanted to do. And I was like, hey, can we work out a schedule where I still do this part-time? I take some calls in the morning maybe, and then I have the rest of the day to work on the business. Since I was an amazing salesperson and I'd made him a ton of money, he said, for sure, no problem. And we worked out a schedule. So I kept taking calls 6 days a week, and I would be scheduled for like 3 to 4 calls in the mornings, which would happen in like a 3 to 4 hour time block. And because his business and systems were dialed in, he had a ton of followers who loved him and his content. I was consistently closing one of those 3 calls every day, and a lot of times it was 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 calls. Because he had a legit following, a large following, with a ton of those followers who were obsessed with him, like they actually watched and engaged with his content, and they really trusted him. So my close rate, because of those things, was very high. And he just had a ton of engaged followers, and his business was good, the product was good, his content was good, everything was dialed because he took it seriously. Like, I talk about this in other videos, but he didn't do anything else but work on the business and the content. And like, all I do is work on my business and the sales, right? This is such a key factor in evaluating like success, but that's a whole nother thing. But those things are vital, right? This is all he did all day, was work on this business and his brand. And details of the program. His program costs $6K, which is a higher level fitness program. So I made $600 to $900 on every sale, 10% to 15% commission, 1 sale a day, working about 25 days a month. And I was at 15K on the low end. And most months I was right around 20K and sometimes above, because many times I would make more than 1 sale a day. So you can do the math. Now, to reiterate, there are many reasons that made this possible. Legitimate business owner who knew what he was doing, had a legit product that people were dying to buy from him. The product got people results actually, and he took the business seriously and really cared about it. So everything on that end, he made sure was dialed in, and he worked on that every single day, like I already mentioned. These types of things are crucial if you want to succeed as a closer. And it's why I tell you guys, finding the right opportunity is the most important thing if you want to succeed at high ticket sales. Not your sales skills or sales trainings. How the fuck, everything I just mentioned about the business stuff that affects you as a closer, how the fuck is watching some Jeremy Miner video sales training gonna help you figure all that shit out or know what to look for? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter, bro. You need to get into the right spot. You are not as important as getting with the right business. If you get with the right business, you can be a decent to shitty salesperson and fucking crush it. The sales skills don't matter, bro. You'll get those through selling for a good business later. See how it's a back end result? It's not an upfront result. And the good news is that there are many good businesses out there like this, while there are also many shitty ones. Your focus just needs to be on finding the good ones and sifting through the bad ones until you get to the good opportunity. Now, other important points to remember is, first, I did not even hit 10K until like month 4, all right? And I still went on to make insane money working a few hours a day for a very long time. That probably would have continued for years. What most people do though, is they get into a role and they make like no money to like 2 to 3K in the first month, and then they throw a temper tantrum and give up. This is most men. So what you need to do instead is just look at the situation objectively. Ask questions like, why am I not at 10K? Don't be emotional, right? That's not good. Ask a simple question like a grown adult male. Why am I not at 10K after 30 days in a new sales role? Is it because the business is shitty and the product is shitty and this turned out to be a disaster when I got in here? Okay, that's fair. Or is it because I'm new and I'm an emotional male and the business owner might be ironing some small things out and I just need to calm down, put my head down, and work hard for a few months? Which one is it, right? And this is why most people never succeed at this, because most people are not able to work hard at fucking anything for longer than like 2 days, much less 3 to 6 months to get a substantial reward. The second important point is that I started exactly where you are right now, on YouTube, watching tons of fucking videos, no clue what I was doing, okay? I'd never done this before. I had no idea what to do, and I got a really good role that turned into a really good role through outreach with no guidance from anywhere. I did this all through just hustle, basically, with no experience. So why can't you do the same? The only reason that you won't do it is because you'll just give up and you won't keep going when things are hard, the typical story of the American male. But now you have channels like mine where I tell you exactly what to do for free. And you can join my program where I will hold your hand the entire time until you get a job. You can only fail if you quit or you just don't do what I tell you to do, which is also very common. The third important point is that I took the role seriously from day one. So this is where most people fail, okay? I didn't care that I wasn't making a lot of money. I was like, I'm learning this. I'm doing this for the long term. Like, I'm fucking all in with this. I'm here to learn. I would have done it for free, bro. Do you understand the difference? Like, when he gave me that opportunity, he's like, hey, you're not going to get paid for 3 months. I would have been like, let's go. Because I wanted to learn this shit. I wanted to get into the internet business world and figure this out so I can make way more money later, right? But you can't see past month one. Oh, bro, I didn't make 10K, bro. I'm going to go fucking cry in a fucking comment section. You're going to be a fucking loser your whole life. Turn this video off. Get off my channel. Okay? I would have done that shit for free for months, bro. I was committed all in from day one because I decided I'm fucking doing this. And I'm going to figure this shit out. Most people do not have this mindset. They don't have a destination in their mind where they are going. They can only see to today. Oh, today I didn't feel good. This sucks. I quit. Right? They don't have a destination thinking about where they're going in the future. They aren't proactively thinking about any of this stuff. And they wonder why their life stays the same. They're just hoping to get into something that works out and then, oh, all the work is over, bro. The work will never be over for the rest of your life. Every day will be the same. If you do not decide on a destination and say, I'm doing this, I will take action every day to get this goal, to get where I want to go in life, life is going to pick for you. Life is going to choose where it's going to take you, and you do not want to see where that leads. You know where it leads? Comment sections. That's where you're going to end up. That's the end of the video. If you want my help getting a closer role or a setter role, links in the description. Until next time.